talked about briefly, women being turned away by their doctor or being gaslit,
Mhm.
that, you don't need, any screening at this time. What would you just say to a woman who's got a concern, feels something is not right, or feels something that they're not getting that care? What would you personally say as a word of encouragement to them?
I think you gotta go get another opinion, go to a different doctor. Someone said something interesting, two things. One, gaslighting is exactly the term my mother used with me at a breast cancer camp I went to, full of breast cancer survivors. Her daughter, 19 years old at diagnosis. Now she wasn't black, but she was white. But this mother complained that doctors were gaslighting her daughter, being like, "No, you don't need this screening. You don't need this and that." And in the end, she knew what she was feeling. And I think it was from that camp that I heard this advice, which was, okay, your doctor says you shouldn't be worried. Ask your doctor to prove to you that you don't need to worry. Give me the proof as to why this lump or whatever I'm feeling, I don't have to worry about. And in the end, it's going to be their opinion. Oh, you're too young. So no, I think you have to challenge your doctors, and you have to go until you get an answer where you're satisfied and you feel like you've been heard. And this young patient who was 31, she pushed and pushed and pushed and insisted on screening, and it saved her life. And
Wow.
so you got to advocate for yourselves. And you know what else I think is helpful sometimes? Maybe not everyone is comfortable advocating. And this is also good, not necessarily with the advocacy, but even just early on in your first appointments where you're going, you're learning what's to come.
Right.
I think it's always great to bring someone with you.
Oh,
They can
yes.
help take notes, they can help listen, because it might be overwhelming for you.
Absolutely.
And so all the way along the way, I think it's good to have, and you're not weak in bringing up a support system. It's just good to have someone who has your back. And that may give you the strength to advocate for yourself. It certainly will help you just feel like you have a backup. I did that. My friend was drawing images, and we recorded we asked to record her, but we were, I had support with me, and that was extremely helpful.
Support is very, very important. And, with Sisters Network, some people unfortunately just don't have that support system available to them.
Mhm.
And that's the beauty of the organization, is that if we have a survivor in that community, we encourage that individual to call us, and we will, pair them up with someone, even hopefully someone that has similar diagnosis or some similarity, or just for the support in general, if you don't have that, because it is critical to have someone else listening, the other ears, just so that you don't miss something that's
But
important.
advice too. I will fully admit that I was keeping this close to the vest. My first diagnosis, my mother was very ill. I didn't necessarily want her to find out what was going on until I was ready to tell her, for
Right.
for many reasons. But for several reasons, I didn't really seek out support. I mean, yes, I had my family and friends, but they
But the
weren't going
support
through
in it,
breast
yeah,
cancer.
yeah.
They weren't just like me. They loved me and cared about me. But I maintained that if I didn't even know about Sisters Network back then. I was just kind of keeping my head down. I got this assignment from God. I'm gonna fulfill it. I'm gonna check off the
Right.
boxes of each chemo, and carry on. So I found out about Sisters Network and a bunch of support groups that we and organizations that we feature in our film. I found out about only when I began the film. But I believe that, had I been part of Sisters Network or one of these other organizations, I probably would have chosen to, in my first diagnosis, go ahead and have radiation,
Mhm.
even though when I did my consultation, it was like, oh, your chances of it coming back are in the low single digits. Radiation would have that. I was like, God, I've been through a lot already. I've already been very aggressive. I chose to forego radiation at that time in
They gave you an
2012.
option.
Yes, they said, well, look, the chances of it coming back are, I don't remember the exact number, maybe it was 7 or 8%. And
Mhm.
I thought that was very, very low. And I thought I had been very, very aggressive, but I should have been that one more step aggressive. So they said, it was 7 or 8%. And so doing radiation would bring it down to 3 or 4%. But I thought 7 or 8% is extremely low. And I took my chances, and ultimately I was diagnosed a second time. Now, who knows? Hindsight's 2020, but in hindsight being 2020, I
But those
maintain
conversations and
Sisters Network. I would have been able to say, so what do you think? So, what do you guys advise?
yeah,
I'm guessing that people might have said, well, go ahead and go that extra
just
mile.
wow, go that extra mile. Yeah,
And
the sisterhood and the advice and sharing personal experiences, and we have a lot of members sharing about some of the treatments that they've sought out and what's worked for them, what hasn't worked, or side effects. Because we do know everybody's body is different,
Sure.
but still hearing firsthand how one manages certain symptoms or what medicine did or did not work for them,
Very
or
helpful.
maybe there's a trial that they participated in that you're not privy to.
Mhm.
That sisterhood, that sisters network provides, unlike so many other organizations, because we are, filtered into the different communities and we're boots on the ground. It's a special sisterhood that we're very, very proud of.
Yes, and that knowledge is power, and knowledge will save your life.
Absolutely.